afternoon to all the matriculants. I want to wish you guys all the best for the exams. So today I'm coming to you with some tips around study methods. I'm going to be answering different questions um, just to help you along as you prepare for your final exams. The answer to this question is that all study methods are the same. It depends on what your learning style is, and if you get to understand what your learning style is, you're going to pair it with a study method that complements whatever learning style you have. I've got two that are popular that I'm aware of and that most people use. The first one is called mind mapping, where you draw a mind map and you write down the different things that you want to remember as you study. So when you study now, you don't go to your notes, you just look at your mind map, which will remind you of key concepts that you need to remember for your exam. And the second one is the popular one that most people use, where you write down your notes in a way that you will be able to understand. So you read and then you write in your own understanding, your own notes that will help you remember. I think that's those are the two popular ones that I can think of right now. But just because they are popular, it doesn't mean that they work for everyone. So the important thing that I'll go back to is you need to be able to find out what your learning style is. And once you know that, you'll be able to use it in conjunction with the study method that will complement your learning style. An effective or productive study schedule starts with you mapping down a weekly schedule for studying or for time management. That's where it all starts. You need to be able to manage your time effectively. And then if you manage your time effectively, therefore your studying will be productive. So you need to write down a weekly study schedule. From as soon as you wake up, you need to know what you are doing, at what time, and when you do that, when you draft your weekly study schedule, you'll be able to make sure that each and every subject that you need to study has been allocated time. Now, I know we all have a tendency to lean towards studying what we like or what we enjoy the most. But now if you do that, you are going to neglect the other subjects. So if you have a study schedule, weekly study schedule, you'll be able to allocate time equally for all your subjects, so that there is not even one subject that is neglected. So everything will be allocated time equally. For subjects, I think I've already covered it in the previous question. By making sure that you allocate time equally for all your subjects, you need to draw up a weekly schedule. I know at first it might be a bit difficult for you to follow the schedule, but the more you do it, the easier it becomes. You get to do it more efficiently. So if you don't start, you won't know if you'll be able to manage the study schedule. So just to wrap that question up, it's important for you to have a study schedule, a time management schedule, about that. Time management schedule where we will plot all your modules, make sure that there's also time you allocate for resting. You need to rest in between your studies. Just because you're writing an exam, it doesn't mean you need to study throughout the day. There's time where you need to take care of yourself. Self-care is still important even during exams. Make sure you allocate time to rest. Okay, and then on that note of resting, please make sure that you allocate time for sleeping, because most students do not sleep when it's exam time. So it's important to get enough rest, and resting gives your brain enough time to process the information that you have learned. So please make sure that you rest, and please stay away from things like your energy drinks. Those can be detrimental to your studies, so they're not healthy. The healthiest thing you can do is maybe eat properly, put some time in for exercising just to energize yourself during the exams. So use healthy coping mechanisms with the stress. We all know that exams come with stress and a high level of stress.
Hi, it's Cassie Chambers, Operations Director at SADAG. And I thought on behalf of SADAG, we'd love to share some additional study tips, methods, things that you can try when you're feeling in a rut about studying. There's so many different techniques that work for different people, and even different subjects take different techniques. And here's some examples that you can try and practice. And I'd love to see people posting in the comment sections what study technique works for you. What study method have you tried? Maybe someone watching this could actually learn. So some ideas from the SADAG team, including doing mind maps, colorful mind maps on big pieces of paper, or spider diagrams, is really helpful to take a big section of work and keeping it on one piece of paper that you can refer to and learn. Paraphrasing, so summarizing what you're learning, rewriting it, is a really good skill to actually help you to memorize the work, practice it in your own language, and at the same time that you're writing it, you're also reading it. Some other ideas is doing things like past papers. There's so many free past papers available online that you can download, answer, even doing your own previous tests or exercises from your textbook. The more you practice, the more you learn. Watching YouTube videos, there are amazing videos online that can help teach really big concepts and hard topics that maybe you really battled to get in class, and you having a different voice, a different person explain it to you can be really helpful. Using colors in your work is very important, whether it be highlighted, colored pens, colored papers. It just helps visually to make the work look more appealing, and it helps your brain to remember. So using different colors is really good in your study notes, whether it be doing headings, highlighting keywords, reading through your notes and highlighting big words can also be really helpful to help you to remember those big concepts and especially definitions. Try doing some flashcards or cue cards, writing out little pieces of paper that have big definitions, which is really helpful for some of your hard study topics where you've got big terms or big time periods that you're having to learn. Writing it out on cue cards is really great as repetition to practice that. Plus, you can have someone else test you. You can do it with a friend or a parent or a sibling where they can ask you the definition and you can explain. Using those cue cards and those colors can be really helpful to your brain to remember that information. Making acronyms or rhymes using the keywords, especially when you're doing topics where there's lots of definitions or dates or words, you can actually make them into their own acronyms using the first letter of every word, and every word means something. And if you remember that acronym, like AIM, then you can actually remember what they all mean in the test. Paraphrasing, summarizing, reading out loud. What also works for a lot of people is teaching someone else. So saying it out loud, teaching your wall, teaching your pillow, teaching a friend. Another really great tip, especially when you're studying and you're feeling overwhelmed, is to study in groups. Studying with other people can be very helpful because they can teach you, you get to teach them, and you get to really understand and learn two for the price of one. So there's So many of these different methods that you can try, and we really want to encourage you to try different ones. We know, for example, maths, you have to exercise and practice more, and the more you exercise and practice more, the more you'll learn and be able to apply those formulas in your exam. Doing past papers, reading online, and maybe if you've got a different tip or technique that really worked for you for a specific subject, please post it in the comment section. You never know if someone else can learn and benefit. Drawing up a study schedule can be very difficult and seems like more admin, but it really helps to plot out even your day or your week. So our tips for your study schedule is to write it out on a blank piece of paper, drawing it into a table with the days of the week, and you can divide it up into what you have to study. So dedicate and do a timetable of 30 minutes to 45 minutes where you're studying a section. Do a timer on your phone, keep a watch nearby, and then after a half an hour or 45 minutes, have a body break where you get up from your desk, you go for a walk, you're going outside, you're getting some fresh air, you're maybe having a snack to eat, you're trying out these different things to get your body going. Maybe even going for a walk around the block, kicking the ball outside, playing with friends, or even chatting to people in your house can be really helpful as a total change of scenery and give you a good break. Try not to watch TV when in these breaks, because what often happens is that 15 minutes turns into half an hour, turns into an hour. And then by then you've lost track of your study timetable. So set timers, set reminders, do half an hour to 45 minutes, take a 15-minute break, and then go back